I hope my slides are visible to you.
Yeah, you can put it in full
Yeah.
slide.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we can start. Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon which time zone you are in. A very warm welcome to this monthly meeting of the Civil 20 Official Engagement Group GLIDES Alliance. So GLIDES is the Global Internet Governance, Digital Empowerment and Security Alliance, which was launched by the C20, the Civil 20 Official Engagement Group of G20, specifically the Working Group on Technology, Security and Transparency. So GLIDES is an alliance that focuses on empowering the civil society organizations. As on date, we have got more than 35 CSOs from 23 countries all over the world. And this is the third monthly meeting of GLIDES Alliance. Can you move to the next slide, please? So the objective of the GLIDES Alliance is to uh, voice the aspirations of the common man, specifically the civil society organizations to the G20. And the objective is to provide the policy inputs from these civil society organizations to the G20 leaders towards so many pressing issues that affect our day-to-day lives. Cybersecurity, cyber terrorism, internet governance, artificial intelligence, data science issues, net neutrality, safe harbor. These are some of the themes that GLIDES Alliance of civil society organizations is working towards policy inputs. And today we have the third meeting of the GLIDES Alliance. Can you go to the next slide, please? The first meeting of GLIDES in May rather, was addressed by Mr. Win Cerf, who's known as the father of the internet, one of the founding fathers of the internet. And we had a very exciting discussion with him on the way forward. Last month, that is the June 2023, we had Mr. Satish Babu, who holds a lot of senior management and leadership positions in ICANN and the Internet Governance Forum. Go to the next slide. Next slide. And we are very privileged to have Mr. Tuan Nguyen with us today for the July monthly meeting. Please go to the next slide. No, next slide. Yeah. Next slide. Unikrishnan? Yeah, I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Tuan Nguyen to you. He is the co-founder and director of the Michael Dukakis Institute for Leadership and Innovation and the co-founder and CEO of the Boston Global Forum. For his Artificial Intelligence World Society Initiative, AIWS, and the concept of AI government, which he had developed along with Governor Michael Dukakis, the Vietnam National Television had named him the Person of the Year. He was also the founder, CEO, and editor-in-chief of Vietnam Net, which is the Vietnam's preeminent online newspapers. In terms of industry, he was also the founder and CEO of VaskC Software and Media Company and Vietnet, which is the first internet service provider in Vietnam. He has been celebrated by the government of Vietnam, which had named him as one of the nation's 10 most outstanding young talents. Amazing. He is a co-author of the Social Contract for the AI Age, the editor of the book Remaking the World Towards an Age of Global Enlightenment, co-founder of the AIWS City, and many more. He's also created the World Leader in AI World Society Award and founded the AI World Society Distinguished Lecture. He has been a fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School's Shorenstein Center and also previously served on the Harvard Business School Global Advisory Board Chair and the International Advisory Committee of UNESCO UCLA Chair on Global Learning and Global Citizenship Education. We are very privileged to have you with us, Tuan, and we are looking forward to your very valuable inputs to our civil society organizations, members from all over the world. Over to you, Tuan. Thank you so much for gracing this.
Thank you so much, my dear friends, Professor Chris Nasir, Alison, and all of us of you today. I'm very honored to talk and discuss with you today. As I'm so honored to talk on May 12 about that is we are global enlightenment community from words to action, urgency of action of government and civil society and civics. So today we are talk a little bit concept, and also we should discuss, and I would like to discuss more detail on how Boston Global Forum AIWS can work with GLIDES, and how we can do together for the future and for C20 in India this year. The first, as you know, every people talk very much about AI governance, AI legal, AI regulation, and digital governance this high from Europe, India, the US, Japan, and around the world, of course, China also. And how we can do that? And we think we Boston Global Forum do very early. We recognize and have perception awareness about this very critical issue and very many challenge and threat if we don't have good regulation and governance them. And from 2017, Boston Global Forum found an AI World Society initiative, and we form and make a model, 7-layer model of society. That's today we discuss very much, but we think about not only Lego and framework. We think about to build a model. We don't focus. We make a safe future by our work and our initiative. And after nearly 6 years, we have some very good result. And for example, we decide and discuss and proposal 7 layers model with a charter standards and also Lego framework and regulation accord, international accord, and application concept for the society, the world to apply AI and data and digital. And we can see on our website very much, and we don't repeat again. And we work with our partners, very important partners in Europe as a Club de Madrid, and with Riga conference in Europe, with Japan government when Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was a Prime Minister. We work very much, and we work with G7 summit, with Italy, with Japan, with France to propose an initiative, and also Canada for that is BGF and AIWS initiative for governance. Yet we need have framework, concept, principle, and attract distinguished thinkers and leaders around the world join together to build. And now today we have GLIDES, new alliance, and BCF very much support and work together for future in India. And I think as we talked last time, that in our framework for global governance of AI, we need to set up and build 4 pillars important for the world for future, because we talked at the global and the world very large, but we need to have standards, norms from based on that, and that is from United Nations standards, norms, and we propose United Nations Centennial Initiative with UN academic impact, and with my dear friend Dr. Ramu Damodaran, and we are together to build that is for UN 100 year 2045 together with AIWS model, and we name that is the Age of Global Enlightenment. And I hear that is very exciting in India. That is also enlightenment concept with Ama. Yes, very that is very exciting that we have some same concept. And by that way, we need to build that important countries first, and with these pillars we can expand and convince the world and the people. And 4 pillars is the US, Japan, India, and Europe, include European Union and UK and many countries in Europe. And so I don't need to talk more about how important 4 pillars, 4 countries do in the world. But I think India today play very important role, and for future, and for AI and digital data. You know, India have very good traditional and good team and intellectual for that. And if you came to Silicon Valley, you can see the India people, and you can see India people in Harvard Business School that Dean, and many intellectual and I think thinkers. And I myself, Boston Global Forum, respect very much India. So how we can Boston Global Forum and GLIDES can do? I think now is the time we need to action. We need to do the first study. The Boston Global Forum and GLIDES can work together to make that is some documents to contribute for C20 summit in India. And the second, we together to invite and recognize civil society organization to do together and join with GLIDES. With our experience, BGF can do by invite actively invite them join and contribute to us with our strategy. And the third, we can make join together to make dialogue and work with the government at the US, Japan, India, and Europe. And most important, we make alliance between professors from top universities and former leaders. They have continued very high impact, and continue contribute for the world. And also with people grassroots and people, and we make our strong resource and power to raise the voice, and with our concept, with our norm and standards, to build a better world and safe security and prosperity with AI and data and internet, and we can make and contribute for our people, our members of GLIDES and citizens, that is the benefit in a new economy, that is data economy and a global enlightenment economy, and we join together between global enlightenment community with distinguished people around the world, join together with GLIDES members. And I think Boston Global Forum can very, very much close relationship and alliance and support and bring organization and people join and do together. And together, I think we can make impact and convince governments to support and to do faster and smarter and more effective in the age of global enlightenment, in the AI and data age. And it is our some concept, and we continue to do more. And as we discussed with Alison and in Silicon Valley some days ago, and Krishna last year, also we can do much more for next years in Brazil and in any country. And most important, we set up platform, and I'm very much like ideas platform from GLIDES, and we can join together to build and contribute content, but for that platform, to make platform very attractive and very helpful for civil society, for our citizen, and make our citizen have voice and have power by as a user and market, because companies and government need listen citizen, and companies need user and market. And with our alliance, we, for example, in 4 pillars, with our citizen in India, in the US, in Europe, and in Japan, we have strong voice from user, from make a market. That is the way some government, they abuse big population to negotiate with companies, and they abuse the market. But now we use the power voice of user and market to bring together, bring benefits for our citizens and make our world better. It's our strategy. And I think GLIDES and BGF have very good opportunity and very good condition, and we have good chance with the world, very challenged, very strict with digital AI. But this is a big opportunity, very good for us to contribute for the world. Thank you so much, and we continue to discuss. Yeah, thank you.
Tuan, I wanted to say, I think we have also some members from Latin America. So maybe we can also include like Latin America and some other countries as well from the global south as well. That would be good. And
yeah, Alison,
if it's possible.
Alison, sorry to interrupt. We have Internet Bolivia, we have Digital Leadership Institute, Belgium, we have Kijiji Ritu, that is from Kenya, and we have another CSO from Vietnam. I can recognize 4 of them. So just for your
Yep.
you can lead the discussion. Yeah.
Yep, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. That means we are global, and we do very much in Africa, in Latin America, and next year is Brazil. I fully agree. But I only focus that is for first phase, we try to dialogue with 4 pillars first. So after that, we do with another country. But first phase very important. When the US, Japan, European Union, India, join together with our concept, our strategy, our principles, I think we can easier to convince because we have experience. There are a lot of a lot of opinions, a lot of voice between a country. So experience from Boston Global Forum, we need to set up standards and norms for that. And easy, we use a standard and norm from United Nations. And, and we developed that in the AIWS and United Nations Centennial Initiative normal standard we have already, and we do, and we try. And of course, I fully support and agree with you that we need to do with Latin America and also Africa and South Asia, very important country, and also it's South Asia and India, very important. I think I say with my friends in India and Vietnam and also in the US, I talk with very much distinguished thinkers in Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and also leaders here should think and should consider India a very important country for the world. And not only China. China is, of course, play a very important role. And the US support for China for a long time, for China growth. But now I think India deserves have a very important role as China in the world. So GLIDES, we can do that. And Boston Global Forum, in myself, I really support for that. And India can do very much in Middle East, Asia also. Yeah, and very important country for that. And I think Modi, Prime Minister Modi have just visit in the US. That is wonderful for us to do with that. Thank you.
Actually, Nguyen from Viet Kid, your floor is yours. You can interact. You are from the Cyber Kid, right, in Vietnam?
Oh yes.
Yes. You're please. You can share your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much for spotlighting me onto the Zoom. So hi everyone. Hi Mr. Tuan, and
Yes.
I'm Nguyen from a social enterprise called Civic Vietnam, and we are currently working on digital safety and digital competence for the young people of Vietnam. And we were founded 3 years ago, and so far we we already have 3 offices in Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City, which are the 3 biggest cities in Vietnam, and we have delivered more than 1,000 classes to more than 50,000 students across Vietnam about how to protect themselves when they are interacting within the cyber environment. So it is such a great honor for me to be here today, and especially to be able to listen from the wise word from Mr. Tuan, because I know Vietnamnet, because it's a very big newspaper in Vietnam. And we also work with Vietnamnet before, but Mr. Tuan is a very big figure, so I never had a chance to actually interact with him. But through the C20 forum, I'm very honored to be here and to introduce myself to Mr. Tuan. It's such a big honor. I just have one question about AI and about AI in general. So I want to raise a question regarding the future for AI development in Vietnam. So according to my limited experiences, I work with a lot of young people, and I realized that Vietnam is facing a very serious shortage, in terms of IT talents, especially AI. So yeah, so I would like to ask you that is there any like recommendations for me as a social enterprise that work in the field of digital competence can contribute to the development of AI workforce in Vietnam, and that can help Vietnamese government like foster in terms of AI AI in Vietnam, because I know that the workforce is lacking. Competencies of the AI workforce in Vietnam is also very limited, and compared our workforce to the global workforce is so, for example, India, just like Mr. Tuan just said, like a lot of Indian people in the Silicon Valley are very talented. Like a lot of Indian people are there. So how is it for us as a social enterprise can also contribute to it? Yeah, that is my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Quỳnh. I'm very emotional when you talk, you work with VietnamNet and about VietnamNet. VietnamNet is my very special life and with a special legacy and heritage. And I brought our traditional Vietnamese history, culture, and traditional, and also VietnamNet to the US in Boston to build Boston Global Forum with Governor Michael Dukakis. So I think, yes, I know, and as I talk, many in many conferences, and Vietnam have a very good resource and a very good potential to do, and we are very special place in the world, and in the 4 pillars in a Shinzo Abe conference in Tokyo in April. Also, I mentioned about Vietnam, and also I mentioned about 4 pillars: Japan, US, India, Europe, and I think Vietnam play very good in these 4 pillars. You know, Vietnam very good relation with India, and I share with you with my friends India here. That is when I meet with and discuss with Amanit Gil and Ramu Damodaran, with leaders of United Nations, my dear friend. They always think, oh, Vietnam is a very good and long friendship with India, and we can do together very much. And India is a very good country with Vietnam, good friend with Vietnam for many fields, and business, economy, and now defense. Recently, Minister of Defense of Vietnam have just visited India, and very good. And India, Japan, a very good relation between Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe contribute and support and build special and strong relation between India and Japan. And Vietnam also very good relation and very good friends with Japan. So that is Vietnam, India, Japan is a special relation. And Vietnam and now with the US also very special, very good relation. Yes, as I'm Vietnamese, I'm in Boston and Harvard, MIT community. When I talk and discuss, always a very special emotion between Vietnam and the US. So Vietnam, I think, have great opportunity to do in internet. Internet came to Vietnam very soon, and also by civil society. You know, as a Thai, I'm from Nha Trang and Vietnam, Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa Telecom. We do not by government, but think as a center and research, and we bring internet, TCP/IP at Vietnet to do, and that means civil society in Vietnam, and Vietnam is very strong. So you can do, and of course in Vietnam, not so easy as the US and India, Japan in civil society, but I think we can do very good solution. That means you do and combine and collaborate with government, and we so you contribute to support for government, and with civil society in AI and data. I have ideas. That means, now and Vietnam is very strong from people. Economic of Vietnam renovate, and after open and reform, the most important is the citizen and people work. And now you are civil society, you work with people and citizen, and we can contribute and discuss with you more how civil society can do. That make every Vietnamese citizen become an innovator in data and AI age. And with internet, with mobile, you can see Vietnam is very, very much upgrade and like a new technology. And Vietnam and India can collaborate very much to transfer technology market and work with Silicon Valley with new model, global enlightenment mountain. That is a new Silicon Valley model. And we reinvent Silicon Valley by the heart from Silicon Valley. We connect with Boston and New England area, and also in Europe, Japan, India. We make between universities and lab centers, companies, innovators, make a community. And Vietnam, very good opportunity to join this community, and from companies, from civil society, and also from every citizen. And the second, that is education. Civil society organization, as you can contribute for support and help citizens in remote area, mountain area, rural area, especially in south of Vietnam, in Mekong Delta. Very need to support for education, and civil society can do very good, and we can contribute and support you very update and flexible program, and easy to approach for the farmers, for the people. That now, if education in a school little bit long and not so easy to spend a lot of time, but with farmers and mountain people, we can help them, and they can develop and lifelong learning by online and mobile. And your organization can play very important role, and you can encourage and inspire another organization in Vietnam and people, even people. Now is the time every people can do as an organization with one account internet, with Facebook and social media. So I think you have a lot of opportunities to do. And yet we are very honored to work and support you and civil society in Vietnam. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful answer. I learned a lot from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you in Vietnam. I will come back to Vietnam after India conference in later July. I will spend some day in Vietnam. We can meet in Vietnam and talk more.
Yeah, I would love to invite you to visit our maybe even attend one of our program for the students, because we do a lot of school tour around Vietnam, and we have been doing that for 24 provinces, and then to teach more than 100 schools about how to be better at digital competence and how to be better at protecting themselves on the internet. So I also have follow-up questions on your idea about AI. So so besides being a founder or a director of a civil society, I'm also a researcher. So I just finished my master in public policy in governance of emerging technology. So I also did a lot of research. I'm doing a lot of research on new emerging technologies, including AI. So I have a questions regarding like AI governance in terms of digital transformation, public service provisions of public services, and how to. But at the same time, I'm also concerned about cybersecurity and civilians and privacy rights of citizens. So, in your opinion, like how do you think that we implement AI in the digital transformation of the government and delivery of public services, but at the same time, how do we ensure the privacy and the rights of the citizens? Yeah, that's my questions regarding that. Yeah.
Yeah, great question, and a question for every country now. Yes, and I think we to say one, we need to respect privacy and human rights. And on one side, we need to help and support for innovation in business and also innovation in public service. And now I think very long topic, and I only have concept short answer, and we can discuss later. For example, GLIDES can raise that issue, and together with Boston Global Forum can do very much in this issue and dialogue with government. Four pillars, and also Latin America, Africa, and Vietnam also. In Vietnam, we can set up a meeting with some leaders of Vietnam about this issue. And I think the first that is we need to have that is the global alliance for digital governance to monitor government do and companies do, because we need to support for innovation, but we need to monitor and supervise how they do and how they use. If they abuse, difficult, and we have to show them. And that is the Global Alliance for Digital Governance. And now we have GLIDES, very good to do that. And we do meet position between companies, government, and civil society to help and to make sure data privacy respect, and also to make sure company can use data and this opportunity to develop for business and for future. Yeah, that is my concept, and we need to action. That action by some mechanism, by organization to do, and I think that's a very good time, very good opportunity for Global Alliance for Digital Governance and GLIDES together to do that.
Great. Hey, I was just wondering if anyone else had any questions, either for Tuan or for the group overall. I know Hugo mentioned he had another meeting, but I didn't know, Cheryl, if you had any thoughts for Europe and how we can kind of take this to the next level. And I know you also mentioned you're in the middle of moving, so don't feel obliged to reply, but if you have some comments you'd like to share, please let us know. Or anyone else on the call, if you have questions for Tuan or anyone else. Hi, Cheryl.
Cheryl here. Hi. Yeah, it's kind of a mess, but I really didn't want to miss this meeting. So my first feedback is how inspiring and visionary this is. And I still need to kind of process and, think kind of operationally about what we can do to, I would say in the first place, align the mission discussed along with what's happening in the EU very concretely, because there is a lot of movement. And I would say, yeah, the EU has definitely positioned itself to lead on this topic. So that's a huge opportunity, and not being, not being immodest, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yes,
at
I
a time.
think that very good comment, and I think as I talk, we have a good relation with European Union and with President Ursula von der Leyen. She joined with us, and also we set up dialogue with European Commission and the Europe Council. And I think with our concept, that is the Boston Global Forum and Global Alliance for Digital Governance and the GLIDES can join together for this dialogue. We dialogue and support for, as I talk, we support for companies for innovation, for new service and new products in AI and digital and data. But also we need to make sure that the privacy can do. But we think that is now many companies, you can see many leaders of companies, they signed the letter to Europe leaders to complain about that is very tight control. So very good issue for us. Why not? We yet, if GLIDES interested, we can invite our members from GLIDES and together with BGF make a statement and proposal to do with European Commission and Council, because if only companies they talk, they chat, they claim, many people will talk. Oh, they claim because their benefit and business, and of course we understand privacy from people, and we respect and we need to support, protect. But also another side, we can support for companies. But I think now the most important is government. In European Commission, they do very much and very good and tight control, but they don't mention about government. Companies, government can have policy, can have regulation to ask them and to manage, to governance. But government, with, you can see, very dangerous for the world. With government, cannot balance check power, cannot monitor power. As Russia, you can see that is very terrible for the world with Ukraine war. So now not only Russia, we have some potential with larger country make terrible for the peace and conflict, as India have problem with them already. So I think now we need to think about that, and if government cannot think about that, so civil society at GLIDES and BGF and Global Alliance for Digital Governance should think about that and have some solution to contribute for the world. I talk again already, this is a very challenging, very dangerous situation war in the world. But it is a very big opportunity for us to contribute for the world.
Great. Krishna Shri, did you want to say anything?
Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Tuan, once again for the very nice session. I think what we have ahead of us in terms of really bringing together maybe leadership in terms of thought and action towards AI regulation is so important. And I think the pace at which the technologies are emerging and the generative AI applications that are going to come on board as we go forward, perhaps by the end of next year, even adaptive generative AI, where, in corporations like, say, Intel can use its own generative AI application for its community of people. This is going to be so rampant, and I think education, I think that was brought up earlier on, is so important in terms of literacy and also how to use this you could say powerful technology as it stands for the society. And I feel like this GLIDES movement can be towards discussing those topics that can really support the development or the regulatory aspects of AI more, and bring together at least some recommendations. I believe we have already spoken to the internet governance leader, Dr. Vensas, and he's happy to take the civil society's recommendations. So anything that we discuss here could be packaged together as our recommendations to the world community. And I think that is the most important outcome we are hoping at the end of the day.
Yeah, great. It is a big opportunity. It's going to take all of us working together. And as Tuan mentioned with your pillars, I think the pillars are very good. And I really wanted to just say thank you so much, Tuan, and everyone for your time today and for joining us on this big undertaking, because I think it is a big undertaking to do this and also to have a platform to talk about this, but also to help train people on, train the CSOs, but also train folks and establish some governance and regulation in this area. So thank you for your time. And Prashant, I hand it back over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Alison. So I think we'll close for today. We'll meet the August monthly meeting of the C20 GLIDES arrange. We'll keep you posted on the time and date. And thank you very much to all the CSOs, to all the members of the working group for attending this monthly meeting. Thank you so much. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your invitation, and a great honor to talk and discuss with you today. And I believe and trust GLIDES will have great contribution for the work and Boston Global Forum, Global Alliance for Digital Governance. We honor and glad to do together for future. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Cheryl, for putting the information on the EU in the chat. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my dear friends.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.